the social thing
It's
as
social, it's
well.
communal,
and it's
yeah.
purpose driven.
Yeah.
Now you have a purpose. I'm going because I'm supporting everyone else there.
Yeah.
So having a tribe can
Yeah.
be very, very beneficial. When we talk about having a tribe, social isolation, and social is another stress we haven't touched on. Social stress, being isolated, is one of the biggest issues I think we have, especially we've had over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Big time. But that can be a worse risk factor for overall mortality than smoking, than drinking alcohol, and drugs. Humans are not, we're not creatures that do well in isolation. We're social creatures. So we need to interact physically. We need to like speak to people eye to eye,
Yeah.
touch, communicate. We're not built to be alone. So having people like, let's say for instance, in your later years, if you have the death of a loved one, that can be a massive stress in your body. And you see it, you see people all the time, oh, such and such died of heartbreak.
Yeah.
You know, because now they've got lack of purpose.
Apparently that happens to elephants.
I think it happens to everyone.
Yeah, maybe. I just heard about elephants.
I thought that was going to be a joke there. Yeah.
No, not a joke.
Elephants specifically.
Sorry to
Okay.
interrupt you there, but,
we have no references for that, but check it out.
Zero references,
Yeah,
by the
yeah.
way, bro science. But but no, sorry, I cut you off there.
I think it would happen to most creatures, I would presume, but I
Yeah.
could be wrong. But yeah, where was I? So
Sorry, I completely ruined your flow there.
But
Apologies, listeners.
yeah, when you like the death of a loved one, then all of a sudden the person's isolated. That can have a massive impact on someone's health because they haven't got a want or a will to live. So you see, you know, not most, but some elderly women will go for coffee or tea to chat with, like, you know, the friend they have from maybe mass or wherever else it is. But men in particular, we're not really good at getting our emotions across or being open with others. So you see the introduction of these, I don't know what they're called. It's like where all men will come together.
Like men's sheds.
Men's sheds, yeah.
Yeah.
So like that, where it's like, it's just a nice place to have social interaction.
Yeah.
Because these men that typically would be socially isolated can, you know, that's obviously going to be a big stress because we're suppressing our emotions then as well.
Yeah.
And unhealthy suppression of emotion is not very good on our cardiovascular system at all.
Yeah.
Because now we're suppressing emotion can actually have a suppression on our endocrine system and everything. Can actually have it can literally manifest on a blood test then.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah.
This is what I found so interesting the first time you said this to me. Is like it's so, because you're giving it such weight. This idea of, and it's very difficult to make it tangible, but just like you described there, having this level of faith or purpose or belief or tribe probably influences everything else you do in your life, because that sense of purpose will make you want to go to bed and get out of bed and eat good food and feel a little bit better and train to be a bit more physically capable and to contribute to society, and all these different things are potentially being driven by that sense of purpose. And that sense of purpose could be linked with your faith or your belief or your tribe or your community. So it's almost the most important thing to have, because you're not going to do any of the other things unless you feel like doing it. And in many cases, obviously, there's the argument that if you have low energy, your cortisol's off in the morning, you don't feel like doing things. But sometimes you can override that. Now, I don't want to get down the word of motivation. I know this whole idea of motivation is a myth, and I would subscribe to that as well. It's all about the systems and stuff. Or habits. But you're not going to develop good habits if you don't give a shit. Like, if you're just nihilistic about everything because you have no purpose or no meaning behind anything, none of that stuff matters.
Yeah.
So you're not going to do any of it. So potentially the most important driver of mortality risks or factors is having some sense of belief or purpose, and that could be connection. No
Totally.
Religion. Yeah.
And we talked about all the various types of stress, and we talked about all the problems. We haven't really talked about, you know, steps of solutions or going forward from that.
Is that the last one? Was that 6? Because did you mention 7? It wasn't social, was it?
Social was, yeah.
Was social
so
one?
We mentioned that there, yeah.
That kind of gets linked in then.
Exactly.
We just said that, okay.
So you mentioned purpose. Purpose, structure, and tribe are 3 major factors that can influence a lot. So having a purpose, which is, I want to improve my overall health because I just want to have a long, fulfilling, you know, life and high quality of life. Or it might be, I want to do stuff with my family or whatever it is. You need to have a purpose. You need to have that, or direction.
Yeah.
If you have no direction, you need to find direction. A lot of my clients, I'll ask them, especially trainers, I'll go, what do you do for fun? And they go, I work out. I go, no. do you have an identity outside of the gym? And they look at me with a blank stare. They don't have an identity other than, oh, such a trainer. And their outlet is just training 6 to 7 days of the week, posting on Instagram, and that's just them. You need to have an outlet.
Is this coaches now?
Coaches,
okay,
coaches specifically, I would say.
Yeah.
And training and I only had this conversation with a client today. We were talking about addiction. And like, what is addiction? I don't know the actual definition, but for me, it's, it's having some sort of habit that is having an unhealthy result on your life. It could be having a negative effect on relationships, your physiological health, your cardiovascular health, or whatever.
Yeah, and I think there's a level of compulsion in it as well. It's something
compulsion,
as a compulsion.
So you can be obviously addicted to training.
Yeah.
But we talk about the benefits of it. Like people train maybe 4 or 5 days a week, but people can say, oh, you're addicted to that, but it's actually having a positive impact in your life. You're building relationships, you're able to work better, your mindset is better for your mental and your physical health and so on. But these people that are training excessively and they don't have an outloader in the gym, like, do they have a dog? Do you walk their dog? Do you have a partner? When's the last time you've gone out for a coffee with your friend or a walk or whatever it is, bowling or snooker or pool or swimming? You need to have an outlet outside the gym. One of my good friends in the United States, he trains dogs. He loves animals.
Cool.
So Adam's recently gotten into, one of my colleagues and friends has gotten into just Sunday hikes with his partner. Stuff like that. You need to have something.